But anyway, when I looked it up on Wikipedia, it was
Mhm. Origins of,
I didn't read far enough,
right,
you know, to
Yep.
to get the goods on who's who and what.
Right. What's that? Ready to start. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. And happy Thanksgiving, even though it's just passed. We're going to start with a Nigun from the ever delightful Samson. And then we'll get on to some community material and thoughts here.
Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da.
So, in accordance with the weekend and the holiday, instead of Tovu Bracha, maybe we're going to ask for Moedim, Hodim. What are the things you're thankful for this past week? I'll start out with two. One, I'm incredibly thankful for the vaccine because it allowed me to have and us to celebrate a pretty normal Thanksgiving celebration. We had 10 people over. It was great. And so I'm thankful for that. I'm also thankful for the cold weather because now instead of wearing that constrictive, annoying tie, I get to have the swaddling, comforting turtleneck, which always makes me happy. So I'm very grateful for all these things this week. Who else has a report of what they're thankful for to share with us? Anybody over here? Nobody's thankful? No, come on.
Thankful.
Yes.
Wynn's brain surgery came out really well. He's recovering as expected, and Stefan, I figured our family is just good at brain surgery.
Your dream, yeah,
You know, I
yeah.
have no tumor.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you're so familiar with the process.
It's just kind of like, you know, we're getting good at this.
Yeah.
Breathe through this one pretty good.
I understand. Well, I will pray, include him in our thoughts and prayers. That's wonderful. Who else has some kind of Thanksgiving to report? Yes, Richard.
Like yourself, I'm very thankful for my family, even though
Mhm.
we're at a distance from one another.
Mm-hmm.
We are in not constant, but daily conversation.
Mhm.
Whether through some means or another.
It is great. And actually, social media, for all of its mixed blessings, it is amazing how much more I talk to my relatives than I did when it was purely a matter of calling on the phone. So that also is kind of nice. Yes. All right, RJ.
I saw my Dennis had put my implant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had all my little photos of it.
Right.
But I went to my surgeon, she ordered the piece of the picture.
Okay.
But she says, I want to have it by the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know you had the illness with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. All right. Very good. All right. Yes.
Very good day.
Uh-huh.
I got very relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot easier not having to do all the work. Everything.
Very good. Right. No, that's fantastic to have and to enjoy family together. Do you need to get a drink of water, dear? You okay? Okay. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead now with the kindling of Shabbat lights, and it's my delight to invite up Helena Shap-Dossi. We're going to be on page 1 in our purple prayer books. You got up here just in time. The Shamus light is about out.
In the beginning, when the Spirit of God hovered over the darkness, God's first creation was light. As we kindle these Shabbat lights, we attest to the majesty of God's work and rejoice in its beauty. Light is the symbol of divinity and creative goodness. It is the outward sign of that inner spark which God has granted each of us. In hope and with love, we now welcome Shabbat with light.
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitchanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Praise you, Adonai, whose presence fills the world, who hallows us with mitzvot and inspires us to kindle Shabbat lights.
May God bless us with Shabbat joy. May God bless us with Shabbat holiness. May God bless us with Shabbat peace. It's funny, when you have limited choices, it's actually very easy. But when you start finding you have more choices, it becomes harder to decide what to do. We are now in the transition away from wearing masks and coming together. And I'm not sure when I'm supposed to wear a mask and when I'm not. So forgive me if I stray, and hopefully we'll all figure it out as we return to a kind of normal. Yeah, exactly. There we go. All right. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to join me on page 3. We're going to be doing Psalm 96, Yismechu Hashemayim, in the middle of the page. Let the heavens rejoice and the earth exult.
Yismehu Hashamayim, Yismehu Hashamayim, Yismehu Hashamayim, V'tagil Haaretz. Yiram Hayam, Yiram Hayam, Yiram Hayam Humelo, Yiram Hayam, Yiram Hayam, Yiram Hayam Humelo, Yismehu Hashamayim, Yismehu Hashamayim, Yismehu Hashamayim, V'tagil Haaretz.
Psalm 97. Adonai reigns, let the land exult, and the many islands rejoice. Dense clouds surround God. Righteousness and justice are the foundation of God's throne, and God's lightning illumines the world. Light is sown for the righteous, radiance for the upright. O you who are righteous, rejoice in Adonai and acclaim God's holy name. I invite you to turn now to page 6, Psalm 29.
Havu Adonai b'nei Elim, Havu Adonai kavod va'oz, Havu Adonai kavod shemo, Ishtakavu Adonai b'hadrat kodesh, Adonai hoz li'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom.
Ascribe to Adonai, you children of God. Ascribe to Adonai glory and strength. Ascribe to Adonai the glory of God's name, and worship Adonai in the beauty of holiness. May Adonai give strength to this people. May Adonai bless this people with peace. We turn now to Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor habracha, mehirosh mikedem nesucha, sof maaseh b'makshavat ilah. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitorari, ki ba'oreku miori, Yori, shir daberi, kevod Adonai al yiknigla.
Please rise.
Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Bo'ui v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha utzola, tohokemu ne'am segula, bo'ui chala, bo'ui chala. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Psalm 92, a psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to give thanks to Adonai and to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, with a harp, with a voice and lyre in unison. Sadiq katamar yifrach, v'ke'erez v'lebanon yizgeh, and the righteous bloom like a palm. They thrive like a cedar in Lebanon. Hatzikadosh.
Yitkada v'yitkada shemei rabba.
Amen.
Yamad ivrach yirute v'yamlik malchute.
B'cha
yekanu yomechan u'chayede kol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kari, vimaru, amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevara, le'alamu me'omalya, yitparak, yitparak, v'yishtabak, v'yitpar v'toman v'naseh, v'yithada, v'yithale, v'yithalal, shemei kudasha,
Brihu.
Leila min kol birkata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram b'yama, v'imaru, amen.
Whether it be with body or in spirit, please rise for the Baruch.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach, Baruch Adonai hamevorach, Le'olam va'ed.
And we come to rejoice at the close of the day and God's constancy in the world in which we live. Ma'ariv Aravim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bitvaro ma'ariv aravim, v'chochma poteach sha'arim, uvipuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakokavim, v'mishmerotehem b'kriya v'kirotzo, v'borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, umavdir yom umevi layla, umavdil bein yom uvein layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El Chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. May God govern us always to the end of time. Blessed are you, Adonai, who makes the evening fall. Ahavat olam. Unending is your love for your people, Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts you have taught us. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and rejoice in your Torah and mitzvot forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life and the length of our days. And then your love shall never depart from our hearts. Blessed is Adonai, who loves the people Israel.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem, Kivod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated, and we're going to read the V'ahavta together. Middle of page 13. You shall love Adonai your God with all your mind, with all your soul, and with all your being. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them diligently to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be a symbol before your eyes. Write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you dedicate yourselves to your God. I, Adonai, am your God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I, Adonai, am your God. Emet ve'emunah kol zot v'kayam aleinu ki hu Adonai Eloheinu ve'en zulato ve'nachnu Yisrael amo. True and enduring, beloved and precious, awesome, good, and beautiful is this eternal teaching. This truth we hold to be forever certain. Adonai is our ruler, the rock of Jacob, shield of our salvation. Adonai our God, you redeemed us from Egypt. You set us free from the house of bondage. For this, the people who felt your love sang songs of praise to you. Living God, high and exalted, mighty and awesome, who humbles the proud and raises the lowly, who frees the captive, redeems the oppressed, who is the answer to all who cry out. All praise to God Most High, source of blessing, and like Moses and Israel, we sing once again this song of rejoicing.
Yai dai 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 yada dai dai bim bum. Yai dai 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 yada dai dai bim bum. Yai dai 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 yada dai dai bim bum. Yai dai 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 yada dai dai bim bum. Mi kamocha bailim Adonai, mi kamocha nedaba kodesh, norati loto sefele, norati loto sefele. Yai dai 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 yada dai dai bim bum. Yai dai 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 yada dai dai bim bum. Yai dai 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 yada dai dai bim bum. Yai dai 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 yada dai dai bim bum.
Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Grant that this night we lie down in peace, Adonai our God, and raise us up tomorrow, O Sovereign, to a life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake, be our help. Shield us from hatred and plague. Keep us from war, famine, and anguish. Subdue our inclination to evil. O God, our guardian and helper, our gracious and merciful sovereign, give us refuge in the shadow of your wings. O guard our coming and our going, that always we have life and peace. We praise you, O God, whose sukkah of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai hafores sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. We come now to tefillah, to our standing prayer. If you're able to stand, please do.
Adonai sefatai tiftachu fia gita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'chonei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, L'man Shemo B'Yavha, Melech Ozeh U'Moshiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol, Atah Rav L'Shia, Mechakel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechayeh HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Sohomek Noflim V'Rofei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayim Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamo Kabal Kevurot Umido Mehela Melech Memit Umekaye Umatzmiat Yeshua Le'manata Lechayot Hapo Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh HaKol, Atah Kadosh v'Shemcha Kadosh, U'Kedoshim b'Kol Yom Yalu Selah. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated, and we're going to continue honoring Shabbat with Yismechu v'Malachutecha in the middle of page 21.
Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomre, 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 Shabbat v'kore honeg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomre, 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 Shabbat v'kore honeg Shabbat. Mekadashe, Mekadashe Shevi Shabbat, Kulam Yisbehu, V'yatangu metu v'chashabat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shomre, 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 Shabbat v'kore honeg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shomre, 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 Shabbat v'kore honeg Shabbat. Uv'hashvi'i ratzita bo v'kdashto Shabbat. Chemdad Yamim, Oto Karata Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shomre, 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 Shabbat v'kore honeg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shomre, 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 Shabbat v'kore honeg Shabbat. Zecher l'maseh v'reshit Shabbat. Zecher l'maseh v'reshit Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shomre, 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 Shabbat v'kore honeg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shomre, 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 Shabbat v'kore honeg Shabbat.
Great say Adonai Eloheinu ba'amcha Yisrael u'tefilatam ba'ahava tikabel u'tihil ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha baruch atah Adonai she'otecha levatcha be'ira na'avod. Moedim, we give thanks to you, Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors. You are the rock of our lives, the shield of our salvation for all generations. And so we thank you and we recite your praises. Let all the living affirm you and praise your name as the God of our salvation and help. Praised are you, Adonai. Goodness is your name. All praises to you. We're going to close out with Shalom Rav, and afterwards we get time to ourselves, a little private prayer and meditation.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasihim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasihim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon, lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasihim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasihim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, b'kohet u'v'kosha Bishlomecha, Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasihim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasihim Leolam. Tasihim Leolam. Tasihim Leolam. Use shalom bimroma, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'himru, amen. Use shalom bimroma, Uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'himru, amen. Yahase shalom, Yahase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yahase shalom, Yahase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahase shalom, Yahase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahase shalom, Yahase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahase shalom, Yahase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Ose shalom bimroma, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'himru, amen.
I think that when the history books are written, we will have a special name for this age. You know, there are various terms that are used. We talk about the Gilded Age for the end of the 19th century. Famously, the 20s are the Roaring 20s, or some people call them the Aspirin Age because everybody was drunk and hungover and sick. I think that maybe the last few years when recalled will be the Contested Age, where everything seems to be up for grabs, to be argued about, to be struggled over. Our holidays, our civic calendar is a big source of that. You know, I always begin with Columbus Day. I mean, quite honestly, I don't have any investment in Christopher Columbus. Not only did he not land in North America, he never even laid eyes on it. And to put it in Jewish terms, he was a putz. So why are we celebrating this man, right? If I wanted an Italian explorer to celebrate, I'd go with Henry Cabot. Henry Cabot actually navigated across the entire North American coast, and he wasn't a schmuck. So why do we make it Henry Cabot Day? Some people have made it, First Americans or Native American Day. That's fine. I'm not invested in that so much. On the other hand, Thanksgiving, I have sentimental attachments to Thanksgiving, primarily from my family experience. And so, the question is raised. The first Thanksgiving was no way the way it has always been portrayed in our schools. It turns out that the English settlers in 1621 were also putzes. So why are we even celebrating this? So I like to shift the focus up to 1861, because that was the year that Abraham Lincoln decided to declare, even despite the fact that we were engaged in a civil war, that we should all be thankful as a nation. And I think that's where I like to make it my starting point for Thanksgiving. And so unless you're an unreconstructed Southerner, I think you have reason to give thanks. Quite frankly, I think even if you're a First American or a dead-end Southerner supporter, you should have reason to be thankful. We Americans, I think, generally are a thankful community. We're a very fortunate community. And our calendar is marked with many days when we express our gratitude to various individuals and to entities. We have Veterans Day, Memorial Day, Labor Day, on it goes. On other days, we pause and we thank individuals of historic importance who have made valuable contributions to our nations. Not so much, Columbus. We can skip on him, but some other people, the presidents and things like that. And then there is Thanksgiving, the day when we have the opportunity to thank God or thank our community for enabling all of the great things that Americans enjoy and more. Every people of every nation, honestly, have their reasons for pride and patriotism and love of country. But the United States, well, we're not really bound like other nations are by our origins or our ethnicity, or for that matter, even a common language. Rather, we are bound together and we take pride as a nation that we are founded on a set of ideals of liberty, of being a nation of laws, of having equality for all of its citizens before the law. Those strong ethical aspirations on which our republic was founded, we hope are manifest every day, and often they are, and we're thankful for that, and we should be. Yet, as Jewish citizens of this land, we not only affirm our foundational ideals as a nation, our shared values with our fellow Americans, but we have an added bit. We always look to the Torah for a deeper perspective and for more profound insight. So what light does the Torah help us cultivate thankfulness at this time of year and at all times? Well, actually, there's one particular mitzvah devoted to expressing gratitude, and it's called bikurim, all right, first fruits or harvests. It's mentioned in Deuteronomy 21. It is, and I'm not supposed to say this, one of the most tedious tractates of the Talmud. I'm sorry, I just could not get into agricultural laws as much as the sages would like me to, but in any case, it's still important. During temple times, every farmer was commanded to bring to the temple in Jerusalem the first fruits that had ripened in the field. And there he would recite an elaborate passage, thanking God for the land and for its bountiful harvest. And the fruits were then given to the Kohanim, or the priests. There's a midrash that goes so far as to say that the great virtue of this mitzvah was such that the land of Israel was given to us by God at Sinai as a reward for this mitzvah that we would only observe after we got there. So God was anticipating the fulfillment of this mitzvah so much that he gave us a place to do it. While the importance of expressing deserved gratitude is generally well understood, it's less obvious to grasp what I think is the special significance of Bikurim. Judaism, after all, is jam-packed with everything from moments to whole weeks devoted to saying some kind of thank you, one or another. We are a tradition of gratitude. The first words we utter when waking up in the morning express our thanks to God for returning our souls to us and allowing our bodily functions to happen. Before eating, after eating, we thank God for food. Shortly after today, we are going to begin to devote 8 entire days to thanking the divine for past deliverance. And with all this thanking and gratefulness going on a regular daily basis, why the need for yet another mitzvah to emphasize the point? One obvious difference, I think, can be seen between Bikurim, first fruits, and all the other ways we give thanks is this. Bikurim involves more than just words. It requires a special kind of commitment. The gratitude must be expressed with deeds. Bikurim implies that our thankfulness cannot only be remaining in the space of emotions, of thoughts, or even of speech, but it must also move us to action. We need to take the journey to Jerusalem. We need to carry that burden, and we need to present it. We need to make some potential blessing of our society a reality through our actions. While the mitzvah of Bikurim and its literal observance is just not possible today, you can now harvest and conduct your agricultural practices in the land of Israel as our ancestors did, but there's no temple to receive it. So what are we supposed to do with this? Well, I think the principal lesson of Bikurim is timeless. This particular Thanksgiving, we find ourselves reflecting on a lot of things, but especially the role of justice in America. This year, we sense that there is more that needs to be done to make the aspirations that we all cling to more real, that we want to make sure that those things that the founding fathers aspired to will become commonplace, more evident, and more consistent from place to place, from city to city, from state to state, across our nations. And it reminds us that some blessings are simply not granted from above. We must cultivate them like fruits in the field. We must deliver them before God like the first fruits. Our gratitude to God must express itself not just in our thoughts and in our feelings, but in the actions of our daily lives, in our communities, and we ask in our institutions also. Giving the first of our fruit, sharing the choicest of the crop, so that all Americans have an opportunity to taste it, is the best way, the right way, I would say the only way, to truly give thanks for all the things we already enjoy in this, the most blessed of nations. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So it's time for announcements, and that means it's the time for Molly Marks. Come on up, Molly.
Very good.
There we go.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, so birthdays last week. Am I supposed to read the birthday? Is that all
You
something?
can mention them.
Oh,
we're
okay.
thankful for those people.
Okay, happy birthday to Bert Barnes, right? Was it his birthday right? Bert Barnes, Michael Cohen, Oscar Hlavasic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of our tougher names.
Yeah.
We apologize, Oscar, if you don't get it.
Havalik. Very good. Stella Kofus, Daniel Leva, and Dale Wade had birthdays this last week. Announcements. Okay. The Tikkun Alam Sock and Underwear Drive. Each night, over 600,000 people live on the streets in the U.S. As the weather turns cooler, let's bring the gift of warmth to the community, starting at the beginning of this month and running through December 3rd. That's almost ending, but I think, wasn't this the one that was extended?
It was
through
extended so
December?
you can continue to contribute. If
Yeah.
you want to cover your toes, cover someone else.
There you go. Okay, so through the end of December then, for for contributing to that. The Tikkun Olam group will be collecting socks and underwear for all genders and sizes. We will have a box here so you can drop off donations. And for questions, please contact our VP of Tikkun Olam, who is Melissa Trapani. The Menorahthon is coming up next weekend, right? December 3rd. Break out your menorah and join us for the Menorahthon next Friday. We will all join in our lighting our Hanukkahs together during services in our celebration of the Festival of Lights. This annual event is always fun for everyone in the family. So join us next Friday night as we get lit. And Nikki Cohen, I believe, is
Nikki Cohen's
your,
going to be leading us musically. There'll be a story.
she's going to do the Candelika, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. I love that one. I love that one. That one's really good. Okay, so be here next week. Religious school is closed for the Thanksgiving break. We'll return classes on December 5th for our Hanukkah program. Don't miss out that Sunday as we'll be cooking up a big batch of latkes for everyone. So join us, spin a dreidel and have a bite. As always, you can find all the specific details for these announcements and anything else you might need on the congregation website, kolami-texas.org. Mishabera. Okay. Mishabera, our list is kind of long. Here we go. Harry Anthony, Joyce Bloom, Natalie Bavino, Sandy Cook, Dave Cook, Mark Davis, Michelle Griffith, Jody Hoffman, Susie Jacuz, I think it is, Carol Jones, Dustin
Jacuz, you got it.
yeah, Dustin Jopling, Molly Collig, Deb Kaufman, Lauren Koenig, Alex Koenig, Kurt Kronfuss, Jillian Kronfuss, Gianna LaMonica, Deb Ledden, Shirley Lunsford, Wynn Marks, Charles Menke, Paul Redwood Jr., Sandy Garber Rubin, Adrian Sandler, Myra Schussler, and Dale Seaver. It's a long list.
Anybody want to add any names?
Yes, any names to add?
Okay, Alan Wolf. Thank you.
Okay.
Mishe Behirak Avotenu Mekor HaBraka Limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe Be'elach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Thanks, my dear.
Did I mess up your key?
No, you did
Okay.
great.
It was a little low for me to sing down there. Yeah.
All right, so let's see. You know what? It seems to me that Casey has not had enough to do over the Thanksgiving weekend. So she should come up and open the ark with me on page 82. Ladies and gentlemen, if able, please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latei kedula liotze breshi, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, V'lo amanu kimiskwehot adama, shelo sam kelkenu kahem, v'kor aleinu kekohamonam, v'anaknu korim, umishtakavim umodim, lifnei melech malkei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Notei Shemayim v'Yoser Haaretz, U'moshav v'Karov v'Shamayim Mimho, U'shkinatu zo, v'Gohei Meromim, Hu Eloheinu ein od, Emet Malkeinu Efes Zulato, Kakatu betorato, virata hayom, v'hashevota elevavecha, ki Adonai hu Elohim, b'shamayim imao, v'yaharetz mitachat ein hod. Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
Thank you, Mike. No, it's all right, it's okay. So please be seated, everyone. The leaves fall from as afar. They fall with slow and lingering descent. And in the night, the heavy earth too falls from out of the stars and into the solitude. Thus all must fall. This hand of mine must fall, and lo, the other one. It is the law. But there is one who holds the falling infinitely, softly in his hand, in her hands. Now is the time we take to think about those individuals who have touched us and shaped us but are no longer with us. As we remember them, we meditate upon the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. So the congregation comes together and honors the following individual connected to our community who died in the past week. Jim Jacuz, who is a family friend, am I saying it right? Jacus, who is the family friend of Don and Helena Dawsey. Thank you. Anybody else lost someone in the past week? I'm going to mention my colleague and friend, Cliff LeBrock, who passed away this past week. For Shloshim, the congregation continues to remember Herbert Paley, the father of Charles Paley, and Gordon Ellison, the grandfather of Lindsay Lev. Is there anyone else observing Shloshim? Anybody's lost someone in the last 30 days? For yard sites connected to our community, we're thinking this week of Ida Arts and John Arts, David Bender, Nellie Dukar, Thomas Ivaner, Lizzie Kuvarski, and Myra Netich. Is there anyone, did I say that correctly? Nitich. Is there anyone else who's observing a yard site? Well, all these people are here with us. For those who knew them intimately, we hope that their memory grows in sweetness with the passing years. But for us, the rest of us, we want to show our support and caring by rising to recite Kaddish on page 85. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'vyomechon, uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'galal u'bizman k'niv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'elam u'lamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbachata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mroma, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the source of peace, who makes peace in places far beyond our understanding, make peace for those who mourn and comfort all the bereaved. And let us say, amen. Please be seated. And we're going to close out tonight with Adon Olam. You're going to find it on page 93. If you need the transliteration, it's on 94, just opposite there. And realize that it's written in columns in the Hebrew. So you're going across the page.
Adon Olam Hashem Allah, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra, Li'ed Nasa V'chevtzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, V'yahare Kiklot HaKol, Levado Yimlok Noha, V'hu Haya V'hu Hove, V'hu Yiyeh B'tifara, V'hu Echad V'hen Sheni, Lehamshil Lo Lehachbira, B'li Reshit B'li Taklit, V'lo Ha'oz V'hamisra, V'hu Eli V'chai Goali, V'tzorchev li b'yetzara, V'hu nisi humanos li, Menat kosi b'yom ekra, B'yado afkid ruchi, B'yet ishan v'ya'ira, V'him ruchi geviati, Adonai li v'lo hira.
I place my soul within God's palm before I sleep, as when I wake. And though my body I should forsake, I rest in Adonai in fearless calm. Shabbat shalom, everyone. So it's Oneg. It's on. Come on, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to do the whole.